Hi there, welcome to this course that will be spread over a few videos which will help you to get to grips with modeling in MODO. What we'll be doing is a little unique and unorthodox in I'm going to use an already built model as a prop in a scene where we are going to deconstruct this thing and we are going to replicate. And I believe if you see what we are working towards, it's easier to understand what we're doing while we're doing it. So we're going to be using this model as a backplane, and in the first video now we'll quickly be using this model to have our reference angles front from the right and from the top as in brackets view planes that we can use to judge the size and the dimensions of the end model. So let's get started with this. This is one mesh item which we will be moving. It's on the 0, 0, 0 plane origin now. We'll be moving it, let's say, 2 meters away to the back. And then we'll be making a copy. Actually, we should actually have made a copy beforehand. Duplicate, duplicate. So I right clicked and I say duplicate and I clicked on duplicate. I have 3 now. So one I'm going to move to the right. We'll call this by right clicking and clicking on rename right reference. The second one we'll be dragging to the back, and we'll call this front reference. And this last one will be dragging lower directly down on the y-axis. So it's about 2 meters. Right click, rename, top reference. Alright. So now I have these 3 so that when I look from the right, I have that one from that angle. When I look from the front, I can see that one. There's the right. If I work on this area of the screen, let's put a little box down. I'm going to start a new mesh item, and I'm going to drag out a box. Then I'm going to, when I hold Control in and I hit the Shift button, I can select my view planes. I'm going back to perspective, and with the scale manipulator at the bottom and in the middle, I'll be dragging it out a bit. So I'm going to press Shift to drop that tool. Now I have this shape in my viewport. It's not on the smack center axis of the 0, 0 origin. So I drew it out from on the right hand view, and in that view angle it will be in the correct position. But from the front it's a little bit off. I have to drag this thing there. There's the actual 0, 0, because that's where the origin of this thing, all of the attributes of it as 0. So let's do this. Let's select all of these items, and we drag them all so that they are all touching the X, Y, and Z axes. These two are a little bit higher than we would have hoped, so let's bring them down. So now this looks as if it's on that origin axis, but it's not. It's towards the back. Remember, that is smack here where all these lines meet is where the origin is. So I'm going back to top view, and I'm bringing this guy. When I created him, his origin was created there. We moved this thing up towards this side, so now its origin is there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to edit and center bounding box center. So centered it towards the mass of that polygonal object. I'm now dragging it to that middle point. So now it's in the middle. So now if I look at the front, I have that back one as a perspective. When I look at the right side, I have that one as a perspective. And from the top, this is above it now. So let's go to the bottom actually. There I can see it. We'll be changing the surface shader to transparent to help us throughout this thing. But we have this set up now, and we can start modeling, and this will almost be the end of the first video nugget. But what we're first going to do before we end this is a short explanation of how we will be doing this. We can now essentially bring out each one of these elemental items that this model is made of. So we'll first be modeling a complete box, and then you'll see how we will be breaking it down and slicing it up to make parts of a greater thing. So you always start with a greater shape. For that, we'll quickly change the size of this, and first actually press the 3 button to select polygons and double click when I do this it's Control Shift and I hold Shift in, then I can choose perspective. This is perspective, Control Shift, top, right, front, etc. So if you press 3 or you click polygons there and you double click, you select all of the polygonal items that's attached. Press the M button to bring up material shader and call it pink work. I don't know, pink is a color that just works. Default material, and we'll select just a little bit of a light pink color, anything, doesn't really matter, and select press OK. So now this thing is pink. If we go to shading and we go to pink work and we expand that and we double click on the material, we can change settings here. Go to the second toppest tab there and transparency amount. Click and drag up until we have a easy see through those to those other lighters. Now at the front, I'll be selecting all of my vertices by pressing 1 and dragging with the middle mouse button, pressing 1 again or W to bring up the translate, the rescale or the change position of those vertices again with 1 or vertices selected, middle mouse button, drag around, press W to bring up the translate for position, move that more or less into position and do the same. Press Shift to drop the tool before you do another selection, else you will be buggered. Now I've got edges selected. I don't want that, I want vertices selected. Middle mouse button, marquee around and drag it in, and again only for the bottommost to bring in that little bit of a slant that this model has, all around again, and just move up a bit to match the model. From the right hand, I'll be pressing shift to drop that tool, marquee around that, drag in, marquee around that, drag in, and there, drag in. Now we have the basic shape boxed out, and that will be the end of this first tutorial video in this course.